Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. Doing business and life with a purpose, serving others, but also achieving success. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. We created this show for you because we want everyone to learn how to do business and life to make an impact on the world and be successful. Think about how you're going to serve today and what impact you'll make. In regards to impact, this is one of my favorite guests because I believe in branding, taglines, naming, which we'll get into in a minute, is so impactful for your business, but it's impactful personally. What is your name? I'm Steve Ramona. Well, that has some value to it or whatever. You can serve with this stuff. And Alexandra, welcome to your show.
Thank you.
Let's start. Why did you get into the naming business?
Well, it was my calling. I was an advertising copywriter for probably 16 years. I wrote enough copy to circle the globe 6 times. And then I discovered naming, and I had no idea that naming was a profession because naming's not part of the advertising world, it's part of the branding world. And they rarely intersect, at least not when I was coming up. So I switched gears and decided I would become a professional namer. And I just, went on LinkedIn. I started kind of, contacting people at various naming firms, branding agencies, and started making a name for myself.
I love it. And you said something that was very unique. I want to jump on branding versus marketing. There is a line of differentiation between both. Can you explain that?
Yeah, well, I talk about branding versus advertising.
Mm-hmm.
So advertising, when I worked in advertising is, you're doing campaigns, agencies are on retainer. It's after the brand has been created. There's an identity, logo, fonts, colors, all of that. So the name, all of that's been done. So branding's done in the beginning and advertising comes later. So I never in advertising, I never knew how all that stuff was done in the beginning, and I never even thought to ask. Although once in a while I would get thrown a bone and get to name something, and I was really good at it and I loved it. And that's why when I discovered naming was a profession, I'm like, oh, complete change of direction. And I knew nobody in branding. All my contacts were in advertising. So that's why I was on LinkedIn, like, who can I meet? Um, and it's so funny. That was almost 20 years ago. And I reached out to this guy on LinkedIn named Ed Rice, who had worked for Landor, a big, huge, branding firm. And I saw he was between jobs, and I invited him over and to meet at a really cool office. And he came over, and so I was telling this story yesterday to somebody, like how many 6 degrees of separation to Ed Rice I have here 18 years later. And I realized yesterday when I was telling this young woman this story that Ed Rice, I wouldn't be there meeting her 18 years later if it wasn't for Ed Rice, because he brought me into this networking group
Yeah.
called Big Dogs. That's how I found out about the San Diego, AMA. That's who had the event, and that's why I was there. So yeah, I think just I really hustled in the beginning, built a network, and yeah, it's really paid off.
I love that. My mantra is your network's your net worth.
Oh, I
And you
like
just proved
that.
it that yeah, your
Ooh,
network's your
that's
net
good.
worth. It's a good well,
That's
thank you.
good. You
Yeah,
should trademark that.
yeah, I'm gonna good idea. I'm gonna make a note of that. It's awesome.
No,
But
you should. You should
no,
totally trademark
yeah,
that.
I actually have swag with it, but that's a great idea. I'm making a note right
Start
here.
using so here's a tip for you and
Yeah,
your people.
yeah.
Start putting the TM symbol after it. You can do that before the trademark's registered. So that shows, and then I can hook you up. I'm gonna hook you up with Jamie if you want to do like a brand protection call with her. I can hook you or anybody else up with her, and she can kind of talk you through the process. But yeah, protect that. That is really good.
Thank you. And this is a servant's heart. What you just heard Alexandria do, that gave me a referral on the show. That's what a servant does, connects people in their
Yeah.
network like you just did. Let me ask the question of how many companies or people, entrepreneurs, start with the marketing first and then they worry about the branding. And what's the problem with that?
Well, I think I you can't start doing anything without a name. So that's kind of good for it's both good and bad for me. So the good part is that everybody needs a name. The bad part is by the time people have pulled their hair out. They've probably tried using ChatGPT and just gotten a bunch of junk. Nothing's really good or clever. Um, and they're pulling their hair out. It's been months and months and months. So at that point, they're usually desperate, in a hurry, because everything is now hinging on the name. It's the last thing, and they're out of money. So that happens. But
Yeah.
yeah, so the name is really important, and the name, if you do your name first, do your strategy work first, then, who are we? What is this brand all about? Look in the crystal ball. What are we going to be in the future? Then hire somebody to, you can try it on your own first, of course. Read my book. This is my book. Hello, my name is
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
How to,
Okay.
how to create brand names that stick. It was named an Inc. Top 10 marketing book. It's
Nice.
very good, has a lot of helpful tips, and or just hire us. And we have a new menu, new haha. We have a lot of food puns that eat my words. Yeah, we have a new menu, and my signature product there is called Fun Size. Yeah, so you get a fun size serving of names for a fun size price. Um, But yeah, do the name first, and then your name is the foundation that you can build your brand around and build your marketing around and your promotions and your advertising and all of that.
That's great. Somebody has a name, they've gone on for a few years. They don't like the name. Can they change it?
Yes, we just named we just renamed a bank, or we did it actually 2 years ago, but it feels like yesterday. A bank that was more than 100 years old. Their name was First National Bank of Syracuse, but guess what? They weren't in Syracuse, New York. They were in Syracuse, Kansas. Um, Now, if you live in Kansas and you're a farmer, as many of their clients were, you don't want to do business with a New York bank, right? And Syracuse, Kansas is a tiny little speck in Kansas. It's an hour from the closest airport, and that airport is so small that their food court is a vending machine, and there's nothing in the vending machine, and I don't think there has been since 1976.
Jeez.
Um, I
Wow.
know, I was there. It's Garden City, Kansas, and the people of Kansas and my clients are awesome. But yeah, Syracuse, the name wasn't doing anything for them, and First National Bank of Syracuse sounded like any other bank. Um, they were a maverick bank. They were winning all kinds of regional banking awards. The Bankies, what a great name. Um, but uh, the name wasn't serving them. Speaking of serving, so they originally hired a naming firm that wanted to name them Maverick, and my friend who was consulting with them called me and said, like, hey, this is a horrible name. Like, I don't think they should have it. Do you mind if I just introduce them to you and have them get a second opinion on the name? I'm like, yeah, no, let me talk to them. So I talked to them and I said, look, nobody wants a bank to be a maverick with their money. A bank is a nice, safe place to park your money, get a
Mhm.
modicum interest rate, and it's safe. You want to be a maverick, you're investing in the stock market, investing in NFTs, Bitcoin, all that. But banks are not mavericks, like in the name. So they hired like on the spot. Yeah, $50,000 project. That was nice. And we renamed them Dream First Bank.
Hmm.
And it's aspirational, right? Because they're all about financing, agriculture businesses, helping families, making dreams come true, right? So Dream First Bank, it's
Yep.
really different. It still is first in the name, right? And it
Yeah.
works for them.
No, and it's unique. And first thing, once you said it, it's different than all others. What goes behind a company and their name? What do they need to do before they get that name? Is it their mission, their why? Maybe it's all those, their product and service. What goes into all that?
Well, I would say hire a brand strategist to
Hmm.
do your strategy work and really figure out who you are. If you can't afford a brand strategist, I mean, do some research online, like what is a brand strategy, and try to cobble one together. Then you fill out, what we have all of our clients do is fill out a creative brief. And that's where you're writing down, who you are, who your target audience is, um, any consumer insights that you know about your target audience that we might not know, things that could be very revealing and help
Hmm.
us come up with a name that would speak to them. What are desired brand experiences you want people to feel when they come in contact with your name? Do you want them to smile?
Hmm.
Which to me is like, you're golden. If you can make somebody smile, you're golden. Like, I'm going to give you some, like, I'm going to say some names to you, Steve, and your audience will hear too. And I want you to monitor your reaction. So we named a frozen yogurt franchise Spoon Me.
That's good.
Okay. Here's mine. We named a GPS for dogs Retriever.
Smart. Yeah.
Okay. We named a Spanish language school Gringo Lingo.
That's a good one.
We named a cupcake store the Church of Cupcakes. Right?
Mm.
So so none of those names are making you scratch your head, right? And you're
No.
not like, they make people smile. You can slap them all on a t-shirt, monetize your name, get your money back, right? So yeah, when you're filling out your creative brief, you are telling us, does what kind of reaction do you want people to, do you want them to, like the bank didn't want a name that made people smile, but they wanted a name that maybe inspire people, or made them feel like, oh, this bank is different, right? And that even was in their desired brand experience. We make people write them in quotes, like, what would you want people to say, like, wow, this bank is different, right?
Yep.
So when we know that, then when we're coming up with names, we can make sure it matches. Is that what somebody's going to say? Versus us naming it, Eat My Shorts Bank, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. It would
Um,
never work. Yeah.
you know,
No
or
context.
something super safe, like Sycamore Bank.
And
Like,
I love how you did that, because dream first is when, with our money, we dream about our money, making more money,
yeah,
buying houses, buying cars. That's our dream with our money. Very
yeah,
smart.
yeah, and when you ask people, what are your financial dreams? Everyone has a different picture,
Hmm.
but we can all picture it in our head, right? Like,
Yep.
for years, I pictured my Barbie dream house. That's what I wanted. I wanted a swimming pool, and I manifested it. And now I live in my Barbie dream house and I have my swimming pool. But that was my financial dream, and I made it come true.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, everybody can picture their dreams. And so yeah, we're asking you about that. What's the personality of your name? What do you want it to be? Yeah, playful. Every name should have the same trait of, it should be approachable. You want your name to be like a welcome mat, not like a do not enter sign. A welcome mat name is like, I was we were hired to name a plant-based, like, fast food company,
Hmm.
business, that they didn't want it to appeal just to vegans. They wanted it to appeal to men and women who might not be somebody that normally would be intrigued by plant-based food, or interested in it, or might say, ew, you know.
Yeah.
So the name I came up with was Don't Have a Cow. And don't have see, I've seen you smile, right? I've seen
It's
your
good.
reaction. So don't have a cow, right? It makes you smile. It doesn't say plant-based. You might not even be thinking about it. It's fun. It's just a fun name. Don't have a cow. You
Yep.
walk inside, you're seeing the menu, you're not even knowing it's plant-based. You eat the burger, you're like, oh my God, this is good. And maybe later you find out, wait, I just ate plants.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're looking to do with the name, making it approachable and friendly. And so many names aren't approachable, right? They're either foreign sounding to people. They have what I call the curse of knowledge, where it means something to you, but your audience has no idea what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. So don't make your name like in a foreign language. It has to be something that people understand and can appreciate.
Yeah. What's the misconceptions? You just added some, but what's the common misconceptions people do when they brand or name themselves?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest mistake people make is they start on GoDaddy by looking for a domain name. Like, I love GoDaddy, but do not start there, end there. We work on so many naming projects where we don't look for domain names until the very, 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 very end. Because all of our clients know that, and if you read my book, you will learn a lot about this. And I also have an online course, how to create super sticky brand names, um, that has 7 lessons on this. A domain name, nobody expects anyone to have an exact match domain name anymore.
No.
It's no big deal to add a modifier word. I just named one yesterday for someone. The modifier was hello, hello blank. If we weren't eatmywords.com, our company name could be Eat My Words Branding, Eat My Words Naming, Eat My Words Brand Names. Having those extra words in your name is actually helpful. It helps search engines find you. It helps people know who you know, what it is
Yeah.
that you do. So don't start at GoDaddy, and there, and never let the lack of an available domain name prevent you from coming up with a name or from using a name. For the first 13 years they were in business, Tesla was at teslamotors.com. Until 2010, Facebook was thefacebook.com. We had, Basecamp, Basecamp and Dropbox had hundreds of thousands of users,
Yep.
and their domains were respectively basecamp.hq and get Dropbox, right? And all of those companies eventually bought the domain names, but they didn't let it stop them in the beginning. And you shouldn't let, the lack of an available domain name be a roadblock to you. No, you should let a trademark situation be a roadblock to you. And that's why it is important to do your trademark research, and don't trust yourself to do it on your own. Hire a trademark firm to do it. The one I highly recommend is called Indie Law, INDIE. And they'll do a free brand protection call with you. And but definitely do not make the mistake, like so many people have, of not doing that work up front, and then you get the dreaded cease and desist email, and all of that money that you have spent on your branding goes out the
Gone.
door.
Yeah.
You have to pay to defend your name or spend a fortune to rebrand.
Great tips. And our audience is picking up so much from you. But the elephant in the room, and this is a big one, Chat GPT and names. And go back to the websites. I know a lot of people over last 5 years, yeah, with the GoDaddy name cheap, and I found XYZ. Okay, I'm going to use that. I love your tip because you're right. Love your
Yeah,
brand, don't love the site.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so with ChatGPT, first of all, ChatGPT is a horrible name. Um, but OpenAI loves the name ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, my boyfriend can never remember the GPTs, PGA or whatever. And I'm like, how can I remember ChatGPT? How can I remember your name? And ChatGPT wrote, giant pandas typing.
Oh,
That's how to remember GPT. Okay. But it's the most. Now, I just talked about unapproachable names. ChatGPT is highly unapproachable. It's scary. It's like, oh, I don't know what this is. It also doesn't sound like chat is weak, man. Chat's like the lowest form of communication, right?
right.
Like, you're sending a little text message, there's no depth to it, right? It's one dimensional, right? Text is lame, right? Versus something robust. So their name is wrong. It is such a powerful tool. They should have personified it because it feels like a person. Now, let me give you a quick example of how it feels like a person. The other day, I was asking it to give me a synopsis of a book I needed to read for a book club, and it gave me this great outline. And I thought, I'm going to ask it to give me a synopsis of my book. So I said, give me a synopsis of Hello, My Name is Awesome. It wrote up this great thing, bullet pointed it. And I said, wow, that's a really great write up. everything is 100% accurate, except you said that naming is an art and a science. I'm the author of the book, and naming is actually not a science, it's only an art. And ChatGPT said, wow, I am so excited to meet the author of this book. What an honor. And it talked to me like a person. Now, the day before, I had met someone who had read my book, a marketer, and he's like, wow, it's so exciting to meet you. But he didn't go on and on like ChatGPT did. And I was like, wow, I'm having a conversation with a person. And it can be your therapist. You can ask it
Yeah.
for advice. So they should have personified the name and named it something like, I would have named it Otto, Otto. It's a fun name. It's kind of a round name, like your friend Otto. It's the play on automatic, right? It's it's the same spell backwards and forwards. It's like a nice, short, fun, playful name, Otto. Like you're just go ask Otto, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, ChatGPT and names. ChatGPT sucks at naming right now. It sucks. It has come up with one good name for me, and ironically, it
Hmm.
was not for a client. It's for me personally. I'm a huge true crime fan. I was starting a true crime club with my lady friends, and I said, ChatGPT, come up with names for my true crime club for me and a bunch of my women friends. And I did not use the word lady, and it came up with the name Lady Killers on the list. The rest of the names were bad. Lady Killers that's a home run. I presented it to my group, and we voted, and they chose Amy's name, which was the Jane Does. So we are now the Jane Does. And for anyone watching, here's Jane. She's our icon.
Yeah.
I'm showing a coffee mug for those of you listening with
Yep.
a
Thank you.
woman with a very clandestine woman with a pink wig on, whispering, and sunglasses, whispering.
Yep.
So yeah, we're the Jane Does. We have a secret handshake. ChatGPT is good for kicking off your brainstorming, getting some words to start with, but the names are lame. And I did a comparison test. Someone hired us to name this is actually a fun size thing. So I just did the names. I put another name on it too. And it was names for a travel game company for families. Kids get bored, right? Oh, one of my names was Bored Silly, but it was said like BOARD, Bored Silly, like board games. Because so Bored Silly, I had hippopotamus, oh sorry, tripopotamus, like hippopotamus, right? I had fee fi fo fun, fee fi fo fam, and I'm sorry I'm yelling. I lost my voice for 4 days. Yesterday I talked for 5 hours straight.
You're good. We
I'm
can
really
hear you.
raspy right now, so I'm feeling like I have to talk super loud. But yeah, ChatGPT there's no way it is ever, and I mean ever, coming up with those names, right? It just doesn't have the ability to think creatively like that, and I don't think it ever will.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I mean, look,
Yeah.
naming firm, we're the only naming firm that comes up with clever names like that. And that's why I have Fun Size, because we're really good at coming up with fun names like, Spoon Me and Church of Cupcakes.
Hmm.
So that's in Chat GPT, it just gave me really lame names. And you guys can try it. Put in Chat GPT, come up with fun names for a family travel game company, and you'll see yourself what it comes up with.
Yeah.
It's just dreck.
Well, it's interesting too because Claude has now come out, Bard has come out, more persona names for AI, which is interesting. So you're right on. The companies are starting to change and starting to name them more of the persona than just Chat GPT. So somebody
Yeah.
listen to you.
Yeah, well, okay, here's something that everybody needs to know. We have been hired in the last year by 6 AI companies to name their AI. Now, if anyone is going to use AI to name their company, it's an AI company, right?
Yeah.
These people know AI really well. I just did one the other day, and this was actually this is actually a company that's hired us before. They're starting now an AI company, and and so I said, "What did AI come? Oh, yeah, nothing good." And like I came up with something brilliant. I gave a show them 50 names. But I came up, there's one that they really glommed onto, they really loved. ChatGPT came up with, and look, I was asking ChatGPT along the way because I'll ask it, you know what, and it didn't give me
Yeah.
anything close to that. But what it's really good at is writing rationale. So I can say, why is this a good name? So I can show the client why something's a good name. But so I love it for that. I love it for a million things, how to get out of a traffic ticket,
Yeah.
help me
Information.
strengthen the language in this letter.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me ideas for, marketing ideas. But yeah, clever names, fun names, and not if you ask ChatGPT for anything fun, it doesn't do fun, it does corny.
Yeah.
It's so over the top corny, it's painful,
Yeah.
painful. It will never if you guys go to my website, eatmywords.com, or you buy my book, Hello, My Name is Awesome, you will see I was a advertising copywriter for a long time. I'm a really funny copywriter. I have a great sense of humor. I have great, just really pithy, laugh out loud lines on our website, in my book. Like on our website, the headline says, "Your name, your brand name shouldn't look like you got drunk and played Scrabble."
I saw
So
that. It
look,
was good.
ChatGPT is never going to be writing headlines like that.
No, no.
So yeah.
No, I just gonna say we're running out of time here, and I love it. You're definitely the queen of names, and that's powerful because it is a great. You need to start there. How can people get a hold of you? You give us so many tips. How can they reach out to you?
You can, go to eatmywords.com.
Yep.
You can fill out a form there if you can take our smile and scratch test. We have a free name evaluation test. It's on the homepage. Just click on test a name. You can test any name, test your current name. And if you are testing your current name, let us know when you're filling out the form. Test the strength of your name. It's a 12-point name evaluation test. It's been featured in the Wall Street Journal. You will learn all about your name, the strengths and the weaknesses. If you want to work with us, fill out the form. We have budget services. You'll see those on our services page. And yeah, look for me on LinkedIn. And hey, I got to say, Steve, I've been on almost 100 podcasts. This is such a tight podcast, and I
Oh, thank
love this
you.
one, and this is one that I'm gonna get the transcript. I'm gonna put this one on my homepage. I want people to listen. This is a really good one. I want
Pre-
people
I
to listen to
I
this.
appreciate that, and you're more than welcome to eat my words as well.
Thank you.
And I thank everybody for listening. And as I say all the time, listen to this podcast 2 or 3 times to get the tips because you won't get it the first time most of the time. You want to learn what Alexandra's put out here because I got a notebook full of notes I'm excited to go over. And don't forget my TV show, Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Together We Serve. And I'll have that information in the podcast. And please comment on my YouTube channel, comment on the podcast. She's going to be out within 24 hours because this information needs to get out right away. And I thank you all. We'll see you at the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart.